You started the role around 3.5 years ago with us. Talk to us about that journey and how it's been.
Yes, so June, July 2022, I think it was, I got approached by the club to come in and take over the Academy Director role. In first instance, I turned it down. Didn't really have the time back then to do it, even though somehow I've made the time now. But yes, so 3.5 years later, really it came about with a conversation with the previous chairman, Trevor McCann and Robert Fleck. They gave me pretty much a clean slate. The teams there were 4 teams at the time, all 11-a-side teams, and they were just pretty much doing what they were doing. So there's a lot of scope there to try and build something here, to try and really make it into a community-related academy, which we could really make a pathway from, grassroots football from the lowest level right up to the first team, and that's what has started to happen, thankfully, in the last couple of years.
Perfect. You talk about the pathway and the things that have been brought into place. For you, what has been your highlight over the last few years in the role?
There's been quite a lot of highlights, all for different reasons, but I suppose the main thing for me coming into the role was to finally have a club that had a boys club that had the full pathway right up to senior football within Ballyclare. Now previously there was Ballyclare Colts, and the Comrades set separately, and my idea was within whatever time possible, as quickly as possible, to amalgamate those 2 football clubs and make them into one football club, because ultimately that's what Ballyclare really craved and needed, and it made so much sense. So gladly within a year I was able to have good conversation with Stevie Hughes at the time, who was overseeing the Colts, around a conversation to amalgamate the 2, and in that period of time then, within probably about 6 months, we went from having 4 teams at the academy to having 17 teams, I think it turned into, across around 11 or 12 age groups. So now we have a pathway which is pretty much rich from 2020, 4 and 5 years of age, right up to under 16, where we break then to go senior under 18. And we've had players now starting the pathway, and hopefully they're going to make it the whole way through, right up to senior level in 10, 12 years' time.
Perfect. And what would you say you're most proud of?
There's so much to be proud of, I suppose. I haven't really taken the time to sit down and reflect a lot on it now. It's all happened so quickly over the last number of weeks. But the big thing for me is probably around the professionalism now we have around the club. It does look like it's all singing, all dancing now. You come to training on a Monday night here at Dixon Park, everybody's wearing all their gear. It's a great setup. The equipment's all set out, everybody's organised. The sessions are engaging and fun. The kids are loving their time here, coming away with smiles on their faces, having worked hard. There's a real sense of achievement across the place, and that's not even by winning competitions and medals and cups. It's just for the progress we've made off the pitch to get to where we are. Having so many opportunities provided for coaches as well now. We have a lot of guys who've went through their level 1 NCC coaching badge because of the steps we've made within the academy. In terms of governance, we've put into place now everything that needs to be there for it to sustain itself going forward. So there's a whole load of things to be proud of, and I suppose I think I'm leaving in a really good place now for things to kick on even further, which excites me, even though I'll not be as big a part of it anymore. But it excites me to see where it goes, and there's so much scope here to be really up and coming and develop young players to be playing the first team at Ballyclare over the next number of years. Yeah,
perfect. As you reflect, is there anything you reflected on you wish maybe done differently or had more time to implement?
Not agreed to it. Not really. I suppose you make loads of mistakes when you do these types of things too, and I made plenty of them. I suppose I always had great ideas around where I would like to see it go, and always had a passion and a drive and a vision for it. and I've seen so much that realised that I don't really regret anything. I'm not implementing anything. There's so much more maybe that could still be done, and definitely might be done going forward. But again, you know, I think where we've got to now is just an achievement in itself, and that comes from everybody. That comes from the coaches who, when I first came in here, barely spoke to each other. Now are happy to step in and coach each other's teams and age groups on a Monday and Wednesday night, and share ideas and, you know, share players and push players on and try and develop people, and all for the right reasons. We've created a culture and an environment here which is going to thrive for the young players to develop. So, you know, loads and loads to be proud of. I really couldn't put my finger on one thing. Yeah,
no, that's perfect. And so this is you're leaving. You won't be away from Ballyclare, you'll still be around the place, which is great. Is there any message you would want to leave just with the boys or with the coaches or with the club as a whole?
I suppose just from my own personal view that Ballyclare's been really good to me. I was a player here for a load of years. I come back now in this role for, again, a number of years, and, you know, if you invest your time in something that usually gives you something back, which you'll cherish, and I think the boys here have a great opportunity. They've now got top class facilities which they can be trained on, week in, week out, to try and develop themselves. They've got a great platform for that and a real opportunity to make their names for themselves in the first team as well in the future. So, you know, I just wish everybody all the best and just hope everybody sticks at it, and I suppose give nothing except your best.
That's a good way to end it, Johnny. Thank you very much for your time with us.
No problem, thank you.
Perfect.